How are you, everybody who is watching this fantastic video? My name is Olanjolai Moko TAYAI Losingo. Simply just call me Olenjolai. I'm from Tanzania, eastern of the African continent. I'm very happy to have you today, and I've prepared good news for your for your present and future life concerning about learning and concerning about training. I would like to take this moment to welcome you into one of our online institutions, because we have two online institutions. So we have two online schools, and we have 4 online schools. So with this one, it's called our online schools is called the Online Diploma Polytechnic Institute of Tanzania, in square bracket Olenjolai. And I would like simultaneously also to welcome you one of our YouTube channel that's called the Online Diploma Polyinstit of Tanzania, in square bracket Olenjolai. Well, what are we doing in these online institutions? See, first of all, as a name indicating that we are focusing and we're providing the material and the contents special for ordinary diploma students. And not ordinary diploma students in every course. We are providing the service into ordinary diploma students who are doing engineering or scientific courses nationally in the entire nation of Tanzania and even international. So whether you are whether a national student or a national ordinary diploma students or international ordinary diploma students, or whether that you are a national parent or your international parents or guardians or a sponsor that you are looking these contents, you're in the right place, because we are specializing ourselves in and providing the contents for the present and future generations to help the ordinary diploma students. So that is the key point that you have to understand. But I'd like to remind you, because Proverbs 29 verse 18, one of the book that is famous book that in the Holy Bible, state that if there's no vision, people perish. So if Olenjolai does not have visions in Online Diploma Polytechnic Institute of Tanzania, in square bracket Olenjolai, then the problems, it means that the institutions is going to perish, Olenjolai is going to perish, and even his students also, they are going to perish. So this is the vision that I've received from God, because his ideas does not belong to me, right? I'm just a donkey. It means that I'm just a vehicle to allow this idea to come into life. But the origins and the owner is God himself. So this is the vision that has been declared in my heart. I have an assignment to prepare some of the ordinary diploma students. We call them, so we are preparing them to become best technician students in science and also in engineering or in any field of applied science, right? So that who will be ready to take the classroom instructions, extracting the knowledge from the classroom instructions, combining with the knowledge of Word of God, and in order to solve real life problems. That's the vision. So our vision has 3 parts. First of all, you have to understand the classroom instructions. Secondly, we are going to help you also to understand the knowledge from the Word of God, from the Bible, right? Holy Bible. And then thirdly, we are going to train you, and even God will be in charge of all of us, in order to put in practice the knowledge that we've been achieved or acquired to solve our own real life problems. We are so tired to be surrounded with problems while we have minds, we have intelligence, we have understanding, we have resources, we have so many things that which actually, if you use them effectively, then we find that we do great things for the rest of our life. So that the vision, our main goal in this platform is not just to help students to pass the year's continuing assessments or maybe they are final exams. Those are specific objectives that you have. Our main objective is to see our continuing best key technicians or ordinary diploma students and even our graduate, they are solving real life problems that we have in our community. That is our main objective. We have some specific objectives that will be we have so many specific objectives that we are going to achieve in every sections, in every lecture of this program. Well, so then in Online Diploma Polytechnic Institute of Tanzania, we have some departments. One of the departments is called the Basic Engineering and Scientific Mathematics. And then today we have a module or course called the Fundamental Rule of Counting, Matrices and Differentiation. In some of the institutions in Tanzania and even in the African continents or worldwide, you might be we might call this course a different name. The issue is you have to know that you should have a course outlines of every course or every module that you are learning in semester. And then you analyze the contents of your course outlines with these contents, right? So again, we have some topics in these modules, and one of the topics is called rule of counting, and we are in lecture 3 solving factorial equations. And these contents are for the second year students in Tanzania. We call it NTA level 5 or National Technical Awards for level 5. Then in case you feel from your heart that you want to offer your free willing thanksgiving to God through these programs, then you are warmly welcome. You can send your free willing thanksgiving to God through these programs on this telephone number 0759745331, and the registered name is Olanjolai TAYAI. So, and then get prepared to receive the blessing, because we have a running cost, a very high running cost. We're likely to have more than 300 videos which will be assisting students who are benefiting from departments of basic engineering and scientific mathematics. So it's very expensive, my dear students and my dear viewers. I want us to tell you, but you're not afraid with that expensive. You know, my God is greater than that expenses, so I still believe in Him. One of the weapons that we like our senior students to have is a scientific calculator like this one. This is Casio function 981. We have original one. In case that you have lost or don't have, you can go to the descriptions of this video and see how much does it cost you, so that we can order to. Again, it's better if you have an exercise book. For instance, myself as a teacher, I have also my own exercise book. It's better for you to have, so that you have to write, because we are going to learn basic engineering and scientific mathematics, and real that this is a student self-paced course, meaning that the students has to benefit on this, and the students has to participate on solving this problem. So let me take you into the quick review. Okay, so we have already shared some of the videos. We call them, this is lecture 00, General Introductions of Mathematics, General Introduction of Basic and Scientific Mathematics for NTA, for first year to third year ordinary diploma students. And also we had posted lecture 01 in our YouTube channel. And also we have posted, or we have taught you, or we've already posted lecture 2, and then I would like just to do the quick review of lecture 2. You know what you have been learning in lecture 1 and lecture 2? Maybe learning basically about the factorial function, right? So factorial function or factorial notation. So whatever the case, we call it factorial functions or factorial notation, and define what the meaning of factorial. But the principle is, if you have n factorial, this is equal to n minus 1 times n minus 2 times n minus 3. This is the property of factorial function, n minus 4. And we need this concept in the, for example, in binomial, right? Binomial expansions or binomial series. We need these concepts of factorial. In probability, for example, when we be learning our combination and permutations, we need these concepts of factorial functions. Very powerful concepts, and even it has been used in MATLAB as a software. Okay, so then what? So this is the n factorial, right? So n factorial is equal to that once, and then if you get that, you put just the factorial. And then you have to remember that 1 factorial is always equal to 1. 0 factorial, these are the constant. 0 factorial also is equal to 1. So that's the key point. So we've been dealing also on simplifying the factorial expression, right? Factorial expression. That you've been simplifying factorial expressions in rational. For example, that you have a numerator, and here you have a numerator factorial as a factorial, and possibly you have a denominator as a factorial. You simplify, and sometimes you can have maybe a certain number 1 factorial plus maybe number 2 factorial. And I left the homework for you, which was to factorize, to find the factors. So, okay, so everything we've done it, that's still there. You have to go through it. Let us focus on today's sessions, which is solving factorial equations. So we ended in example 7. So today, let me take you in example. But before I go to example 8, I want to talk a little bit about the factorial equations, say factorial equations. So when we say about factorial equations, what you have to know as basic technician, we say that factorial equation, this is an equation, right? Equation which is an equation which has two parts, right? 2 parts, and this we got the left hand side and the right hand side part, right? And the both parts, right? Both parts are what? are separated, for this case, separated by what? By equal sign, right? Equal sign. So equal sign like this one. So this is the difference between equation and what? An expression. So let us go straight forward into example 8, right? And this example 8, you have to refer tutorial sheet of DIT, of Dar es Salaam Institute of Technology, tutorial sheet. And this is tutorial sheet. This is question number. Okay, let me check my reference, please. Keep enjoying the beauty of mathematics. Okay, the beauty of scientific engineering mathematics. Okay. Okay, so make sure that you share these informations and you share it with your colleagues, with your classmates, so that you can benefit on this information. So tutorial, this is tutorial sheet, and this is question number. So you have, for the DIT students, they have. But if you notice, the DIT students also will see the mechanism where I can share this tutorial. So it is question number 7, right? And then the question say that find solve this. The question says that solve the equation below. So you know what you've been given? On left hand side, you'll be given n minus 2 factorial. Okay, so you just have to know how you can use the concepts of factorial in order to solve problems. So n minus 2 factorial over n factorial. Then on right hand side, we have what? 1 over 56. So first of all, this is what we call the factorial equation, because it has some variables on left hand side and it has a constant on the right hand side. So solution. So in the Dar es Salaam Institute of Technology, this module is being learned for in the first semester of second year of ordinary diploma. Solution. So let us, we'll be given n minus 2 factorial over n factorial. This is equal to 1 over 56. So suppose that this is equation 1, right? And then you have to think, this is the factorial function, this is the factorial function. But you have to see how does they relate. Which one should you expand? And once you expand, you can simplify and eliminate the factorial functions, so it remains the normal variables, just like a normal algebraic expression. So you have to think, if you expand this one, the next term, the first will be n minus 2 times n minus 3 times n minus 4 times n minus 5 possibly, and then I put the factorial. But if you expand this one, this is a subset, n minus 2 factorial is a subset of n factorial. Why? Because if you expand n factorial, what happens? I'll get the first term is n times n minus 1 times n minus 2 factorial. So then I can cancel the factorial, I remain with the normal algebraic expressions, then I simplify, I find for the value of n, right? So we say that the first step we say that let us expand n factorial, right? Expand n factorial. So once expand n factorial to what? So expand n factorial to n minus 2 factorial. So how do we do that? So n factorial, this is equal to n times n minus 1 times n minus 2 factorial. So it's still a factor. So suppose that this is equation 2. So we go for the second step. So the second step, we say that substitute equation 2 into equation 1, right? So into equation 1. So to do that, we say that numerator of equation 2, it is equation 1, it is n minus 2 factorial, and then the equation 2, the denominator is n minus n, then n minus 2 factorial, and this is equal to what? 1 over 56. So this one, we cancel this one. So on the left hand side, we have 1. We remain with n times n minus 1. This is equal to 1 over 56, right? So simply, you can maybe cross multiplications and also simplify once that you are crossing the multiplications. So we can have that on the left hand side, n times n and minus n times 1. So it means that we have what? N times n minus 1. This is equal to what? This is equal to 56. So on this side you have n minus n, and then minus 56 is equal to 0. This is equation 3. So then now we have what? We had a factorial equation, right? A factorial functions, we call it factorial functions or factorial equation. And then right now we have a quadratic equation. So you know what you have to do. So you have a quadratic equation, then now we go for the third step. We say that let us solve what? Let us solve equation 3, right? Equation 3, okay, by using your scientific calculator. By using either scientific calculator, CS means scientific calculator, or general formula, in case that you don't have, right? So let us use a scientific calculator because I do have, and even yourself, I hope that you're going to have it. How do you have to solve? You just go to the mode, right? Press it the first time, press the second time, press 30 times. You reach into equation, choose the equations. Then how many do you have? Are we solving simultaneous question? No. Press this replay on this side once. Then how many degrees do you have? 2. So choose 2. Then A is coefficients of n squared. What the coefficient of n squared is 1. Against B is the coefficient of n, so it is -1. Then insert. Then C is what is coefficient of n power 0, which is -56. And then you get the first value of x1, it is 8, and x2, it's 40, it's -7. So then we say that x1 from the scientific calculator, which is equivalent to n1, this is equal to 8, and then we have what x2, which is equal to equivalent to n2, is equal to -7. Okay, so then after you get these values, you have to think, you have to test. What if you substitute in the original, in the previous equations? Does it satisfy, right? So you go for the first step because you are a good student, you have to be sure before you collect your exam. So before you collect your assignment, you have to be sure. So the first step, we say that test it for what? Test it for N1 and what? N2. So for N1, what we say? So for N1, we say that N is equal to 8. So we have an equation, N minus 2 factorial over N factorial. Is this equal to what? Is this equal to 1 over 56? That is good. So substitute 8. 8 minus 2 factorial. And then here we have 8 factorial, right? And then is this equal to what? 8 minus 2 is equal to what? 60 factorial. And here we have 8 factorial. 8 factorial is equal to 8 times 7 times 60 factorial. So cancel 60 factorial is 60 factorial. Then this one we have what? 1 over 8 times 7, which is equal to 56, and it is already satisfied. But you should not just do this because you want to be sure. Again, let us go and test it for what? And testing for n is equal to -7 because you are a serious, you love basic engineering scientific mathematics. So we have what n is equal to -7. N is equal to -7, then we test it. So we have n. So what is n? -7 minus 2 factorial. And then here we have what? -7 factorial. Is this equal to what? 1 over 56. So then -7 minus 2, this is equal to -9, right? Factorial. And then this is -7 factorial. So this is 1 over 56, right? So, so even if that we ignore, right? Even if that we ignore, because even if you use a scientific calculator, I believe that just clear the scientific calculator and then try to look for so create, and then try to look for -7 shifty factorial, right? This one, -7 shifty factorial. How did they insert? Just -7, okay, 7, right? And then we say that shift, this is the factorial sign. Then what do you get? You get negative this one, right? So it does exist. So if it does exist, then we say that with this one, we say okay, so you have -9 times -8 possibly. Yes, so simply we can test this one even by using a scientific calculator. But let us take -9 with shifty, -9 shifty factorial, then divided by what? -7 shifty factorial, right? Then so what do we get? We get the answer is 72. Why? The answer is 72. So it means that -9 factorial over -7 factorial, this is not equal to 1 over 56, is equal to 72. right? So this side is equal to 72. So therefore, we say that the value of n is 8. You're done. You're waiting for your marks. Okay, that is example A. Let me take you into example 9. Okay, into example 9. If you join me right now, you're warmly welcome. I'm teaching you and we are learning about how we can solve factorial equation. So let us go to example 9, right? Example 9. And this example 9 is a little bit concept, but we are going to overcome, we are going to solve it. Okay? So this is refer DIT tutorial sheet, right? Or some years ago, which is still useful now. Question 7b. Okay? Question 7b. So then the question asks you that solve for value, or find the value of 40 of x in the question below, right? Question below. So here we have what? X minus 2 factorial. Then we have x plus 1 factorial. Okay? And this one, we divide this x factorial, and then we multiply with x minus 1 factorial. And this is equal to what? 7 over 5. 7 over 5. Okay? 7 over 5. So if this is the case, when we say that, we say, okay, fine. So we have to solve that problem. Okay? Solution. Okay? Beautiful question. So how many factorial functions do you have in numerator? 2 different functions. How many functions do you have in denominator? 2. So we have to analyze, we have to check first. We have to inspect the first step. The first step for that problem is to say that inspecting the factorial functions of what? Of numerator and denominator. Okay? Inspect it. So you have to see how does it relate. There's a relationship between x factorial and x plus 1 factorial. What relationship? If I expand x plus 1 factorial, I will find x factorial. So x factorial is a subset of x plus 1 factorial, right? Again, there's a relationship between x minus 2 factorial and x minus 1 factorial. Why? Because x minus 2 factorial is a subset of x minus 1 factorial. What does it mean? If I expand x minus 1 factorial, I will find x minus 2 at one of its term, right? So for this case, after inspections, we go for the second step now. So we say that the expand what? So we do expand x plus 1 factorial in numerator, and also we have to expand what x minus 1 factorial. But you have to expand until we find one of the numerator or denominator component. Okay? One of numerator or denominator components. Wow. So if that's the case, how do we expand? So we say that in numerator we have what? X minus 2 factorial, and then okay, so let me just expand it, and then because I know that possibility is a little bit challenging if I do it straightforward. So you have x plus 1 factorial. If you expand by using what the principle I'm using, n factorial 3, it's got n minus 1, n minus 2 factorial, right? So x plus 1 times what? X plus 1 minus 1 factorial, and then that is my destination, right? So x plus 1, this is the first term, 1 minus 1 is 0, so it's x factorial. So in the positions of x plus 1 factorial, we are going to substitute it with this value. Then again, we have in the denominator, we have x minus 1 factorial. So x minus 1 factorial, if you expand into two terms, the first term is x minus 1, then times what is x minus 1 minus 1 factorial. So this is equal to what? X minus 1, then we say what? We have x minus 2 factorial. So this is equation what? 3. Right? Fantastic. So remember that this one was equation what? It was equation 1. So let us call equation 1. So then we go for the second step. The second step, we say that substitute equation 1, equation 2, and 3 into equation 1. Okay, so to substitute, there we have x minus 2, which we didn't touch it, x minus 2 factorial, and also we have x plus 1 factorial, which you have to substitute this value right now. We have x plus 1, which is not a factorial function. It's an algebraic, it's a normal algebraic function, algebraic expression, and then we divide. We saw it. Here we have x factorial that we didn't touch. And then we have x minus 1, which is question 2. Then here we have x minus 2 factorial. And this is equal to what? 7 over 5. So we are going to simplify. So this one, we cancel with this. X factorial cancels x factorial. We don't have any factorial functions in both numerator and the denominator. And that's what we call the simplifications. And that's why I taught you simplification before I taught you to solve factorial function. Okay, so this is 7 over 5. So the next step now, it means that I just do the normal algebraic, or solving the normal algebraic equation. So it calls multiplication. So we have 7 times what? 5 times x plus 1. This is equal to 7. Then we have what? You have x minus 1. So this one is equal to 5x plus 5. This is equal to 7x minus what? 7. So collect the like terms. So I can collect the like terms. I can bring this on this side. I have 5 plus 7. And then I have 7x minus what? Minus 5x. So simply this is 2x, so I can write on the left hand side, and then 5 plus 7 is equal to 12. So if you divide by 2, then you find the value of x is equal to 6, right? And then the third step, now, steady state, you have a single value. So you can test it for x is equal to 6 in what? In equation 1, so that for you to be sure that whether this value of x is correct or is not correct. So it's very simple. So just substitute 6 minus 2 is equal to what? 4 factorial. So you can even just write it after 4 factorial. Then 6 plus 1, this is equal to 7 factorial, right? And numerator 6 factorial. And then we have what? 6 minus 1, so which is 5 factorial. This ratio gives us 7 over 5 at the quotient. So the close relationship between them. So it means that these terms, if you don't expand 4 factorial, and we expand 7, so it will be 7 times what? Times 60 factorial. Okay, so it means that this simplification it will be 4 factorial. We don't touch it. We have 7 times 60 factorial. In the denominator, we have what is 60 factorial, so we should not expand it. Then we have what is 5 factorial, which you have to expand. 5 times 4 factorial. So we cancel 6 factorial, 6 factorial. We cancel 4 factorial with 4 factorial. Then we get 7 over 5. So you write with confidence that, therefore, the value of x is equal to 6, and you are done with that problem. Okay, fantastic. So if you have any question, you need to understand any point, ask your question in the comment section, right? Ask your question in the comment section. Ask your question in the comment section. Don't ignore it. Ask your questions in the comment section. Ask questions in the comment section. Okay, so again we have another equation. Okay. Okay. So we have another equation. So this will be example 10. Example 10. And this example 10. Okay. This example 10. We said that to refer. This was question number 7b. This is now question number 7d. So solve for x in the equation below. So which equation? This factorial equation. So 9 times x minus 4 factorial. This is equal to what? Is equal to x minus 3 factorial. So that is the equation that you have. Okay, so in this equation, what do we say that? We say, okay, fine, so that the process, we have to solve it. You have the left-hand side, the right-hand side, you have to see the relationship between them. Okay, so because you want to eliminate the factorial function first. So so again with this way, so we say that this is not actual, it's just okay, it's concept. If you discover it's not difficult. So we say that the first step, all in the first step, we say that inspecting left hand side and right hand side of equation above. So what did this equation? We have 9x minus 4 factorial. This is equal to what? X minus 3 factorial. Right? So in this case, what do we say? We say fine. So we have to inspect the factorial function. How do they relate? So this function is a subset of this function. If I expand these functions, I will get this function. That's how. But this is not a subset of this function. If I expand these functions, the next term, the first term is x minus 4. The second term is x minus 5. While if I expand these functions, the first term is x minus 3. The second term is x minus 4. And x minus 4 factorial is the terms on this side. Right? So just to go that this is question 1. So then we go for the second step. So the second step say that expand what? Expand x minus 3 factorial. So to expand x minus 3 factorial, we form two terms. The first term will be x minus 3, and the second term will be x minus 4 factorial. And this, let us call it equation 2 in mathematics. So then in case you find that I'm teaching you quickly, you can revise this and review this video several times as well as you can. So you can review it several times as you can. Then we have what? So we go for the third step. The third step, we say that substitute equation 2 into equation 1. Right? So equation 2 into equation 1. So equation 1, we have 9x minus 4 factorial. And then so equation 2, what do you have? So you have x minus 3 and x minus 4 factorial. Right? So then we say that divide by x minus 4 factorial to eliminate the factorial function, both sides. So this side will cancel and this side will cancel. So what remains 9 is equal to x minus 3. And this is equal to equation 3. So you go for the first step. The first step, we say that solve for x in equation 3 above. How do you solve? So x is equal to 12. X you can prove. 12 minus 4 is equal to what? 12 minus 4 is equal to 8 factorial. Here 12 minus 3 is equal to what? 9 factorial. 9 factorial is equal to 8 times 8 factorial. So 8 factorial and 8 factorial cancel. So 9 is equal to 9 and x is equal to 12 satisfy the given equation. So therefore we take that the value of x is equal to 12. Interesting. Do you enjoy the beauty of basic engineering and scientific mathematics? Tell me in the comment sections. You enjoying this content from which institution, from which college, from which regions of Tanzania, from which continent, from which country in the world? Tell me in the comment sections, because I'll be so glad to see that this message of the truths of engineering and scientific mathematics for the ordinary diploma who are actual that we are preparing the basic technicians is spreading worldwide. That is my desire. And that is my rejoice, because now millions of the students of present and future generations, they get help. Okay. So then now, if that's the case, I would like to give you homework 3. I'd like to give you homework 3. Okay. So this is homework 3 right now. Okay. Homework 3. So this is homework 3. So the homework 3, this will give us example 11. Okay, example 11, which is still a concept. Okay, It's not a concept actually. Example 11, and you have to refer DIT tutorial sheet, right? Tutorial sheet, DIT tutorial sheet of 40 question 7C. Okay, question 7C. So the questions ask you to solve for the value of n. Okay, very simple question. Do this homework, submit in the comment section. Okay, what that equation? That equation is n plus 1 factorial, n plus 1 factorial, and then you have n minus 1 factorial. This is equal to 30. So think about that. Very simple question. Can I give you more? Can I give more? Okay, so let me give you more. So this is example 11. Let me give again example 12. Okay, so you have to still refer to the DIT tutorial sheet, which I can share with you, tutorial sheet, and we have visited almost each question. Question number 8 now. Question number 8, part A. The question asks you that, find the value of A. Find the value of A. In which equation? So they find the value of A in this equation. 4 factorial times y factorial, this numerator, and then in denominator we have y minus 1 factorial, okay, as 1 factorial, and then we say that 12y, this one is equal to what? Is equal to r. So yes, so this at least it will it's a little bit challenging, that you can write a concept. So do these 2 questions according to, because I've taught you the 3 examples. So this now is the easiest question. These are the easiest questions for you, for serious students who have been joining me. In case that you find some troubles, just a review of how I've been solving, how I've solved the 3 equations, the 3 factorial equations, and even yourself will get courage and solve even these 2 simple questions that I've given you. So I really thank God who have created me in his own image and likeness. And I really thank God who have built his gift of teaching in me. I am teaching, and teaching is Olenjolai, right? And I thank God who have given me this great idea that to impact the life of millions of students, of ordinary diploma students from the present and future generations. And also I thank God who have given you opportunity to learn the concepts of factorial function with you. And this is, I'm blessed to say that this is the end of the factorial function for the ordinary diploma basket of all basket technicians. The next lecture, which will be lecture 4, I will be teaching you now about combinations, right? I'm still teaching you the topic that's called the role of countings. So I'm teaching you how do we count in mathematics and by using the factorial function. Again, we'll need the concepts of factorial when I'll be teaching about permutation and also the combination. So lecture 3, I'm going to teach you about the permutation. Then possibly lecture, if you can cover the concept and the questions in the same lecture, then in the lecture 5, I'm going to teach you about the combinations, right? So combinations, we have so many issues to discuss there. Possibly I can teach you 2 lectures of it. Maybe it may be lecture 5 and lecture 6. That is my prediction, but we'll see, because my intention is that I don't want my lecture to exceed 90 minutes, because you know that you can get tired. So I want you to have a rest, and as you come back and you take these contents. So I thank you for taking this moment. I really appreciate you, and I believe that you have learned a lot of things. And also I remind you to subscribe, because we are going to upload more than 400 sessions, okay, in these departments of 40, in this online institutions that called the Online Diploma Polytechnic Institute of Tanzania, in square bracket Olenjolai. So make sure that you subscribe, share this content with your colleague, read the descriptions for the more instructions and even for the more information concerning about the particular video. And hence, again, don't forget, if you feel from your heart that you want to offer God your free will in thanksgiving in order for you to support the running cost for this program, then don't hesitate yourself to send your free will in thanksgiving, which will be accepted in heavens. But the messenger, it means that in heaven's dealer or the heaven's messenger is Olanjolai in Tanzania, in United Republic of Tanzania or in Tanzania. So I'll be happy to receive your free will in thanksgiving, and believe me that it will be used effectively in order to make sure that more than 400 videos will be in air for the present and future generations of the best technicians. Think again how we can apply this piece of information in solving the real life problems, because that is our main objective. Don't forget the visions that we have in online Diploma Polytechnic Institute of Tanzania. When we say Polytechnic, that it's just more than one technical perspective that you are going to try. So may God bless you and keep you. I'm praying for you, pray for me, so that we have to achieve this business, and even yourself, you have to succeed in your career of being a competent basic technicians for the rest of your life. So stay blessed and stay focused until I meet you in lecture 4.